Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game, and we are returning to Rule the Waves 3. It is August 1957, and I think we do have a war at our hands because relations with the United States have soured, and honestly, I'm a little bit looking forward to that. I'm absolutely scared because they have got 25 aircraft carriers in total with a combined tonnage of 800,000 tons, so more than twice as it's hopeless, basically. But nevertheless, let's see how that is going to turn out. So what I've done is I've sent most of our submarines here towards various places on the American East Coast, West Coast, and the Caribbean. Mostly on the West Coast because that is where they can reach relatively easily. One of the good and bad things is the US fleet seems to be relatively dispersed. Now that is good because they can strike us very easily. It is bad though because one of our strength is to do a good first strike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send most of our carriers here to Southeast Asia in the hope that we're going to ambush at least the forces here. And I think our war strategy is going to be somewhat historical in that we are trying to get the US to come our way, strike them where we can, and sort of attrit them while they come to us. There are a couple of problems though, and big ones at that. One is, as always, I've set the active status here way too late. A lot of our ships still have poor quality, and that's a bit of an issue, of course. The other thing is we are still rebuilding quite a couple of our destroyers. They're only going to be ready in about half a year, which is a bit bad because I think we very likely will have war on our hands next turn. So let's see how things are going to turn out. I have dialed down on the research a little bit so that we have some money to spend. I did need to put the construction of our new aircraft carriers on hold because we just do not have enough money to go around with that. I'm really hoping that we have some turns until war breaks out, but I'm not very optimistic here. Well, one more turn, that's good. The longer we have, the more we can get to at least fair crew quality, maybe good crew quality. The disposition of our forces is going to be slightly better. So all of that is good. I'm slightly worried about the budget still, but I would love to see a lot more destroyers and so coming in. So could do this. Send a note suggesting that they reduce their stance. Since all of our major ships are mobilized already, I'm just going to do nothing because I don't want tensions to increase even further. Strengthen our international standing, lessen tensions, but the money we'll finance will be taken from the naval budget. I don't honestly think that we can afford that. We just really cannot afford it right now. Right, new jet fighters coming into play. Most of them, and by the way, yes, thank you for pointing out that that we do need to be concerned about the speed. I'm slightly concerned about the loadout here because some of our carriers can only carry light jet fighters. So this is basically the only way that they can strike, but they can carry like missiles and such, so that's good. Nevertheless, speed to me looks pretty comparable. Toughness is the same, firepower is the same. So we'll probably need to think about range, and honestly I think the Mitsubishi one is the best here. Maneuverability is much better than on the other guys, and the range should still be sufficient, so we're going to pick these guys. Torpedo bomber, I don't think we're going to care about torpedo bombs that much more. Cameroon being completed, that's good. I'm not going to continue building that up because I am already building up quite a couple of things. Oh Jesus, how many guys have the US here? 3 carriers already. That is pretty significant. What have we got? We've got 2 carriers in our home waters, but these are only the escort carriers, and I think for the first strike. But we can see that the US is definitely mobilizing a lot of their potential towards us, which is super interesting. 4 more turns. 4 more turns. We are not going to have 4 more turns. I don't think so. More funding, that's very welcome though, because our budget here is super problematic. To Dutch Harbor. 8 medium bombers, 12. Yes, you know what? Why not? We're going to get a couple of corvettes here. That's good. And we are at war. Yeah, I thought so. But at least we do get a surprise attack in Manila. So that's going to be the basic gist of it, isn't it? So we're gonna attack enemy ships. Maybe that's a mistake. Right, it is early morning. What have we got? We've got the 1st Carrier Division. We've got an Escort Carrier Division, and we've got the 2nd Carrier Division. Okay, so 4 of our carriers are around. That's good. Yeah, they're all down here. The light cruisers, I'm going to put them under AI control because I really don't care. The heavy cruisers, you know what? You're going to be independent, that's fine. Light cruisers, you're going to be AI controlled again. You guys are doing your stuff over there, that's good. Okay, so where do we think that the enemy ships are based? I'm going to guess Manila, right? I don't think they're going to be in Liangzhen. There is an airport over there. We should have maybe tried to disable that. On the other hand, we don't seem to have that many air bases around. Some over here. Well, we do have some in Taiwan. Well, that being said, let's set up the strikes. So, 1st Carrier Division, let's auto-select the strike and use Manila for that. Let's go... Does all heavy make sense? I don't think so, because on the jet attack we can carry a couple of heavy missiles. You can carry missiles. Right, okay, so cargo. What do you think? What are you bringing? A couple of jet attack aircraft with heavy, a couple of them with missiles, a couple of escort heavy jet fighters. Makes sense to me. You guys appear sort of same loadout. I guess we can go with the missiles over here. Still want to keep a couple of heavy loadouts because I want to find out how that will work. You guys can actually go on light. I mean, you could actually carry bombs too, but I don't think so. I think we're going to use you as actually light aircraft, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Right, we could pick a couple more though. And what happens if we, for example, pick 8 of you guys and use you on a naval strike loadout with heavy bombs? Or missiles even, because you can carry that, can't you? Do we know much about that? No, I don't think we can pick that. Right, and then up here we can still carry quite a bit more. 14 more planes would be possible, so let's pick these guys here. And likewise use you in a naval strike heavy loadout this configuration this time around. We want a coordinated strike, which would be extremely late. And your priority obviously is going to be carriers. 2nd Carrier Division. Auto selected. You've got the light jet fighters on the Akagi, but the Hiruju is still a pretty good plane, so that's going to work. Again, let's pick a couple of heavy loadouts here. We're not carrying any torpedoes anymore. Maybe I should have changed that. But don't mind, it is what it is. Right, and another time, heavy bombs. You guys down here seem to be fine. We can still pick 50 more, right? Yeah. Let's use missiles on you and naval strike too. Bombs loaded and escort mission? No, that of course is not my intention. So naval strike we go. Launch strike. I don't think there's much that we can do on the 3rd group. Sorry, here. The 3rd group should only be light jet fighters. We could have also, of course, I mean, you can carry bombs actually. Why not? Why not? Let's use a couple of these guys here in a ground strike role. Right, that should be it. And I guess it's mostly about waiting now. We've got our heavy cruisers that are around. Do we think that they should be able to deal much damage? What have you got, you guys? Atuma, you've got 9 8-inch guns. You've got a decent number of 3-inch guns. We could try to finish stuff off. Well, we're going to accelerate you a little bit and see where we're going to get with this. Right, stuff goes out. I should actually adjust this because for sure we don't need that range. And for sure I would like to have at least heavy combat air patrol. Yeah, there we go. Right, I think the first strike packages are already on their way. That doesn't look like just recon, does it? Now these are the light jet fighters. Okay, so you guys are coming in for the airport. That's not the worst thing. Especially as our main strike seems to be coming in right behind that. I really like the small graphics there. I mean, yes, this game is not all about the graphics, but it's still interesting to see. We've got the special squadrons on all of our stuff, so combat air patrol and so on should be working out relatively nicely. But let's see how things are going to develop in the reports here. Okay, first of all, we've got a couple of guys here strafing the airfield. No aircraft is being hit, and no other effect as it appears. Then we've got a couple of glide bombing attacks with 1 hit and an attack on an enemy heavy cruiser. No aircrafts are being hit, but 1 bomb manages to score a hit. Good, but I'm really concerned about the carriers. Now, here's another strike on a carrier. That's good. Ground strike is already returning. Interesting. That was a completely wasted attack there. Right, nevertheless, 1 attack on an aircraft carrier. Nothing seems to be hitting, so that's bad. Come on. Come on, that cannot be it. Launch missiles at an enemy light cruiser. I specified that we are supposed to attack enemy carriers, please. So I don't think we have any reports, curiously enough. Right. Launch missiles at a corvette. Glide bomber battleship. No hits scored at all. 2 missile hits. That could be on a corvette. We don't know. If that's on a corvette, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. At least 1 bomb hit here on a light carrier. That's good. More missile hits. Launching missiles at an enemy carrier, actually. Heavy cruiser hit. 2 bomb hits on a carrier. That's good. Yeah, so I am going to say that probably is going to be a successful run. Let's take our heavy cruisers and see whether we can get into port and see what result is going to come out here. Well, we also have reports here. We think that there are at least 4 carriers and another report here, although there might be some overlap between these 2 guys. Destroyer bomb hits, carrier bomb hits, that's nice. Missile hits, also very lovely, of course. I should double check whether we've got any aircraft here that we can send out. Only the special forces, really. The other stuff is so small, I don't think it makes sense. No. You are getting some planes ready, but this is too little. This is not enough to justify another strike here. Well, stuff is being hit, including a battle cruiser. I don't know whether they do actually have a battle cruiser. They don't. They do have 2 battleships. How scary are these battleships? Ohio and Colorado class. 16-inch guns. They're pretty scary. They're not that fast, but they can certainly deal out a lot of damage. destroyer being slaughtered there. It's a bit sad that you can't, that you don't have better intelligence, but then again, back in the day, they didn't really have that much better intelligence either of what people were doing. But I think our strike here is starting to die down a little bit. Although we've certainly seen a lot of ships here in Manila Bay. I think that was a hit, presumably on a light carrier. But yeah, you can see most of our planes here are starting to make their way home. Which is good, of course. I don't think we've lost too much. Although I didn't follow it in extreme detail. Right, so let's turn it on by 5 minutes. Big question is, are they going to be able to launch a counter-strike? We don't know that. Going to give them a couple of minutes to land and replenish, basically. Make them unspotted. We'll regularly check this. Okay, so I think there's at least some potential here for a couple of things, right? Yeah, 11, 10 escorts. We could have used more of our escorts as attack aircraft, I believe. So let's go here, let's attack carriers, and let's immediately launch that strike. It's going to be a half an hour difference if we launch it immediately or not. Why don't we include you? You should be coming along. Let's launch it uncoordinated and immediately. Just so that we can keep them off balance. There are at least a couple of guys here, so I'm gonna do the same. Just send them out as fast as you can. Either way, since this is not the first strike in the morning, it's gonna take more time. But if we can get a second wave in there and do a lot of damage, that would be super welcome. No, I don't want to adjust the strike here, but that's already the second group coming in. And I unfortunately did click that box, so I'm going to need to click no a couple of times now. Our heavy cruisers are streaming forward. But there are more coming in. So they are finally making their way here. Very, very piecemeal. And this might be a repeat of Pearl Harbor, where the second strike also met a lot more resistance than the first one, because the Americans actually recovered pretty well in the first couple of minutes and hours in terms of their readiness. Yeah, you can see that. Already we are seeing Combat Air Patrol being ready here and damaging, not shooting down, but damaging some of our aircraft. And that will make them a lot less useful. You're attacking the airbase? That's peculiar. Okay, they actually have found us. They're shooting down one of our airplanes. 2 of our planes are being shot down. The 3rd plane lost. And they are starting to gain some speed here. Maybe we should have coordinated. We probably should have coordinated. But you know what? In Midway, the Japanese decided to coordinate pretty drastically, and it was not to their advantage. But yeah, their Combat Air Patrol is incredibly effective. We're not seeing any attacks here really on enemy shipping. Only air battles, and they don't seem to be going our way. A couple of missiles being launched here at least, but no hits. But a lot of our planes lost here. That is bleedingly not good. And I see launches, but I see very few confirmed hits here. This is not even the bombing, which is going to be more difficult. We're also starting to get more reports here from the mouth of this, so they might very well try to get out of this already. I should have brought my battleships. They are still in Northeast Asia because that's where they are a little bit cheaper to maintain. And also I thought they might attack here. I'm also not quite sure whether the training is better in that place or whether it doesn't matter where units are. If we can spot the enemy, we can certainly start to fire missiles at it from our ships. Can't see anything now, but very soon we should start to see some ships here. Enemy target radar is locking onto our heavy cruisers, and we've seen a lot of ships down here now. We don't really know what they are, but chances are that there are some enemies there. Okay, there is a missile flying our way. We think this is a battleship. I don't quite believe that, but let's nevertheless try to see whether anyone can fire at her. Okay, we are firing some missiles here in return. Atsuma hit by missile, near miss. How much damage did they do? She's on fire, that's pretty bad. Because missiles did explode. One of them has been hit. The forward port wing. That's bad. Yeah, I believe our heavy cruisers here don't have the staying power. Okay, so let's see what else we can do. I guess we'll just need to get off our missiles before they can do stuff. Don't necessarily think we should launch against the destroyer though. Saying that, this is what we hit actually. I believe these are their missiles. No, they are ours. Well, Atsama is being hit by another one. Pretty badly on fire now. Hull hit, armor pushed in, fire started. 4 inches of belt armor are evidently not enough. Well, at least we have scored more hits than they so far, but that's of little comfort, to be honest. And I don't think we have any more missiles that we can launch at this moment. So our group of aircraft is over there, of our aircraft carriers. How do we look in terms of strike? So I think it could work, right? It could still work. If we go, we've got a couple of jet attack aircraft here to accompany you guys. You guys can use escort. We've got all of them are using missiles. So let's come over here. Oh, the weather limits that. Yeah, well then, in that case, you shouldn't use you. You can come along. Okay, let's ready that strike. That's of course pretty good for us that the weather is just now sort of becoming so bad that they would not work anymore. You guys are coming along. Okay. Right, let's see how that missile battle down here is going to go. We should actually also look at our gun ranges. Yeah, look at that. Look at how small they are. Actually. Well, these are more ships down there than we can truly handle, but I think we can't withdraw either. So we'll just simply need to check on what we can do here. And I'll need to keep an eye on whether the air operations are going to become better at some point. You're still struggling with the fires. I should probably slow down a little bit. But at least I don't believe any of this down there to be carriers, really. Yeah, look at that. We actually hit one of their ships with a gun. That's new. Iwata, obviously, not the Tsumo, because she's burning. We still believe these to be battleships, so... Okay, Iwata did turn down there to launch their missiles. Good, I think we hit both of these ships there. Not sure what that really did. But we're gonna at least hope that it's gonna be useful. Can we do more? No, it seems like most of our things are not ready to shoot again. I think the heavy cruisers do have another load of heavy missiles. But I'm really concerned. If these are battleships down here, it's nice that we've caused so much damage. And that might actually be still good. But is it going to be good enough? 12 8-inch guns on the Huntington class. Looks pretty modern too. I like that. It's very sleek. We only have 8. So they've got 50% more guns, and they've got slightly better belt armor, and the secondary guns are much bigger, and they've got, it's just a much more modern ship. I really like it. I would have loved to break through and start to chase some of their carriers, but I kind of don't know whether that's going to be viable anymore. We're down to 28 knots. Let's see whether we can at least identify these other ships here before turning around or anything like that. Atsuma near miss. Iwata is being hit. Atsuma is being hit. This is not good. Speaking from experience, like once you find that one of your okay, this is clearly not going in our favor. We're gonna try to run away. I don't think it's gonna be that possible, but we'll see. Do you guys have torpedoes? Yeah, you do. What class are you? Jajima. I think these guys were built for heavy AA, right? No, they've got 6-inch guns. But there's just no way that you'd make it, so we're just going to do it like this. Yeah, and we are a bit just... I kind of doubt whether our heavy cruisers are going to make it out of here. If these guys are truly battleships, then I'm going to be happy, but I don't think so. No, this is another heavy cruiser with 10-inch guns though, so she's pretty strong. Yeah, we'll need our battleships to deal with them, but we already see how strong this kind of engagement can get. Pueblo class honestly looks pretty similar to the Huntington. Well, at least we are scoring some hits on them. But I have very little hope that we're going to make it out of here. Let's see how our... we can actually... take you guys and go over here. This time we're going to do that coordinated, launch that strike. Why was Akagi there separated? I don't like that. That means these guys are going to come in uncoordinated between these two, so that's not nice. But nevertheless, let's do it. Not nice. Yeah, we're being completely pummeled here. Let's see whether we can make it out. I doubt it. Big question is how much damage did we do to the other ships there? And that's really the big question, right? You guys have obviously separated, and let's see whether we can turn you away here. Our carriers are gonna go into the wind to launch their strike, I guess, soon. And then we are also gonna turn them around. Okay, yeah, there come the strikes, so that's nice. You guys go there. Try to get away here, basically. Yeah, there's the third strike, this time coordinated. I'm hoping at least that that is going to turn out much better. But we'll need to see. Air combat. Friendly combat air patrol do strike some Tiger Cat recon. Okay, yeah. Just strike the recon. I like that. Another hit here on us. Okay, launch missiles at a carrier. Nice, another hit here. 2 hits here. 3 hits here. Nice, I really like that. That's good. But more combat air patrol. But this time it's our escorts that are attacking them. Nevertheless, they are shooting us down. We are shooting them down. They are shooting us, and we shoot them down. So it seems to be a little bit more balanced, at least. And the big question is: are our actual strike aircraft will they make it through, basically? And so far, it doesn't look like that. But even just the 3 hits there, if they were actually on carrier, I would be good. I would be happy with that. Well, we don't know what we hit here. It might have been the destroyer. It might have been a carrier. I believe we are starting to be at a point where our strikes are a little bit more accurate, and we're actually going to be able to hit the stuff that we are aiming for. That's always with a little bit of question mark. Right, do we have anyone who's ready? Kind of really no. Okay, you guys, could you try to come like here and strike any aircraft really? And just go for it. What time do we have now? So you'd be there in about an hour. In that case, we probably need you to be here. Let's try to support our surface vessels there a little bit at least. Causing some damage might be useful. More air battles. I think we're going to lose a lot of aircraft here, and that's problematic, as was historically the case for Japan. So yeah, let's see. Apparently we are strafing some carriers there. Launch missiles at battleship, quote unquote battleship, and we are not hitting them. We are hitting the Pueblo class though, so that's nice. We've suffered light damage so far. I'd really like you to suffer a little bit more damage so that we can get away from you, so that you lose a little bit of your speed. How about you guys and anti-torpedo ranges? It's not in range yet. Okay, I'm gonna take you under manual control. And I'm gonna try to run you a little bit into these guys so that you are launching torpedoes. And the aim here is to basically drive them away. I don't believe we're gonna hit anything with torpedoes there. But it might be useful to just try to get them away. Also, you guys, can you maybe turn a little bit to the south here so that we are a little bit more dispersed, at least? Right. I need you to launch your torps. One of you has actually launched your torps at some point. And the Tsuma is being flooded here. We actually do need to check on that. You are on fire. Your structural damage is tremendous, basically. Likely due to the fire. But if we can put out the fire, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. The flooding doesn't seem to be that problematic, at least for your immediate survival. You suffered pretty bad hits, but other than that, you seem to be alright. Okay, Itsukama has launched tops. So, if that's the case, try to run away now. Near miss there. Torpedo tubes hit. I would have liked them to turn away here. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. We didn't even score a hit for it. Well, now we did. That's nice. And we do have the magnetic pistons, which turn off every now and then. So this should cause a lot of damage to her. And at least she is turning around there, so that's nice. But where are you guys going, actually? I think you should try to get away from this. Yeah, you're being mauled here, but the question is, did the sacrifice of the light cruisers get us a chance for the other guys to get out of there? At least it did manage to cause some issues for them, I believe. Right, Atsama. Okay, yeah, you got rid of the flooding, you got rid of the fire. That's nice. Let's try to run you over here. And that should work out nicely. Right. Flint class hit. More torpedo tubes hit. Not good. I do believe that they're probably going to come around. The light cruisers actually try to make their way back to the main fleet. On the other hand, they seem to be retiring, so that's nice. Should there be an air naval strike coming in? No, probably not. Okay, fine. Good. Right, our carriers, could you please try to just sort of get away from here as fast as you can? So I don't want to be like suffering the counter strike here. And in fact, there are some planes that are approaching us, but we seem to be shooting down most of them. So that at least is good. Okay, no damage incurred so far. Oh yeah, and some of them are attacking there, so that's nice too. On the other hand, seems to be pretty much to no avail at all. But at least, you know, we did try to support our cruisers. So, I'm going to be happy with that result. Right, I don't think we're anywhere near nighttime, right? But I do pretty much believe that we have more or less completely expanded all of our stuff. I should double check this, right? Yeah, because the left bit evidently needs to be adjusted. The right one can be too. The distance also can be reduced much more. Come on. There we go. That's all I need. Can't go to heavy combat air patrols. But what about the strikes? Yeah. Well, it's still 15 planes. So if we can, I believe we should. Yeah, let's do it. No reason not to. Nine planes. No reason not to. Akagi. There's only 4 planes. No. Kage has been spotted. It's not good, but somewhat unavoidable. Okay. Lost the submarine. Oh, nice. Right, so how did it look? Woohoo! So first of all, on our side, heavy damage to one of our cruisers, light damage to the other one. A couple of heavy light cruisers being damaged, so yeah, that was to be expected. We also lost that submarine. We lost 37 aircraft in total, most of them to air-to-air losses, and most of them were jet attack aircraft. So Maybe we'll need to find a new model there. That's a little bit more sturdy, but still. On the other hand, on their side, 600 aircrafts, many more, 400 of them lost, and that is largely because of the 5 carriers that they had. 3 were sunk, one was lightly damaged, the other one did escape damage in total, and one of the light carriers also sunk. So very good result. Let's look at that in a little bit more detail. So we've got the Ranger, the Charger, the Langley, and the Bennington all sunk. So let's check on how big these guys are. 122 aircraft, 61,000 tons. You were hit by a single bomb and 2 missiles, and that is already enough there. So superstructure hit, splinters perforate the uptakes. Okay. Aircraft destroyed. Yeah, nice. You're trying to evade air attack. You're shooting down one of the missiles, but one of them is actually hitting you and fires are being started. Heavy missile is hitting you in the superstructure. And you are seeing some damage here among the... So that's interesting. So that's the second or third wave that we're seeing here. And that is causing a lot of damage because you've just started to rile up basically your spotting of aircraft, and that really starts the fire. And then the fire spreads and spreads and spreads, and it ultimately goes down in flames. Interesting. So that is really the Midway experience for you. Another Shangri class. So wait a minute, what class were you? Yeah, two Shangri classes. Similar displacement. You were hit a little bit more here with 4 bombs and missiles. The first one was actually a dud, but another time we are destroying some aircraft. Another one does another dud. That's problematic. But at least one hits the engine room. That's nice. And the third dud. That's really bad. But we are starting some fire. And that is spreading. And it's spreading. Spreading. You're getting it under control. It's spreading again. And then the heavy missiles come. Most of them are doing fine. You're finally managing to extinguish the fire. And then the last attack aircraft, or the last wave actually has another heavy missiles coming in. And the fire is spreading again. And fueled aircraft explode. There's a lot of fire. And another one is being lost to fires. Interesting. Ranger, you are already sunk. You're not sinking. You're also significantly smaller, 33,000 tons. And only 7 aircraft, but you still managed to take quite a bit of damage here. One bomb hit that takes out the turret. Not too good, not too bad. Aircraft's fire started, but the fires are extinguished a lot better here. But heavy missiles are hitting you, and the heavy missiles again. It's starting that fire among the aircraft, and it's raging out of control. So yeah, this is really the Midway experience for the Americas. The light carrier, only 12,000 tons, only 13 aircraft here, but 3 missile hits. You are actually thinking through flooding. That's interesting. And that's a heavy missile. Interesting that the heavy missile is perforating the extended belt armor and starting a fire, but it's actually the flooding that becomes the problem, and that ultimately dooms her. We've got the Augusta. You also suffered some missile hits, but it seems like you were doing fine there. You got a lot of structural damage and flotation damage, but you managed to survive. San Diego, Airbase, Suruju. So we can get some intel on the stuff that was here and not damaged. That's the Yorktown. Oh, I like the setup. It's very straight. But yeah. 75 aircraft. Charger was sunk. Yeah, I think that's it, right? No, there's also one with light damage. Interesting. So what caused the light damage here on the Hanok class? 44,000 tons, 80 aircraft. You did suffer a single bomb hit. There was a bit of fire, but that was it. Had you been hit another time here, I would have guessed, honestly, that there would have been another fire among the fueled aircraft. That might have doomed her, but she escaped that. So good for her, I guess. On the other hand, let's briefly also look at the aircraft here. 370 were lost on the ships, but they also lost 30 in air combat, and most of them were light jet fighters. Interesting. Very few operational losses. Interesting that our losses look so similar, except for the loss on ground ships. Also kind of interesting that we didn't really lose all that much against AA fire. Right. Where are the ships based? Can we see whether we could have done something? There's the Augusta. These guys here, I don't think we should have attacked them any further. Some land installations. Yeah, the Hannock and Yorktown are still in harbour. If we had been able to break through into the harbour, that would have been lovely. But with all of these destroyers here, look at the Patenton, 3,500 tons. Yeah, with all of these guys left around here and the heavy ship-to-ship missiles, I don't think that would have been a wise idea. You know, torpedoes, that's one thing, but missiles, that's another one. Overwhelming victory here. We're getting 2 prestige points actually, and a lot of victory points here. That is fantastic. Our monthly balance is in shambles. A lot of our ships here are in dire conditions. All in all, our crew quality is not good, and we are at war against the Americans, the biggest nation in the world here. That's not good. This doesn't really... Wait a minute, why does it not count our aircraft carriers that are building? Oh, presumably because we've halted them. Yeah. So still, I mean, even with all of these carriers sunk, they've still got 3 times our numbers. Still more than twice our tonnage. We have more submarines though, so I like that. Yeah. That being said, it is time to put in a cut. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like and let me know your thoughts on the strategy that we should be employing. And one thing I should mention is it's not only the US. We do have another problem. The US is allied to France. So France is very likely to soon enter the war too. The good news is they're a little bit further away. We probably could clash in the Mediterranean, but I don't expect too bad things to happen. So, see you next time. Bye bye.